Thank you, Chair. Honorable Ministers, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank the chairperson of the session and the Bureau of this important meeting for giving me the floor to speak on behalf of the delegation that I have the privilege to head here in Moscow today. I feel particularly honored for having been invited to take part in the 5th Moscow Conference on Global Security and for the opportunity to mount this rostrum to talk about the situation of terrorism in Cameroon, my country, in Central Africa, which is directly confronted with terrorism due to the attacks of the group Boko Haram, a local name which means European education is not good. Let me take this opportunity to express the very positive appreciation of the President of the Republic of Cameroon, His Excellency Paul Biya, from whom I bring you distinguished greetings for the opportunities of exchange and analysis of security issues that is a major concern to Cameroon. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Cameroon, for some years now, is faced with various types of threats, namely cross-border crime, maritime crime in the Gulf of Guinea, organized crime and poaching. Thanks to strong government action, these scourges have been contained and reduced to a low level. Since 1213, Cameroon is directly faced with attacks from the terrorist group Boko Haram that, after setting its bases in Nigeria, a neighbor country to us, has extended its murderous activities to neighboring countries such as Chad, Niger, and Cameroon. This action has resulted in serious consequences for Cameroon in terms of loss of human lives among civilians and the defense forces, destruction of property, and disruption of the economy. Ladies and gentlemen, the globalization and internalization of the terrorist threat, and even more specifically Islamist or jihadist terrorism, does not spare Africa. Boko Haram, that stands today as the West African branch of the Islamic State, is one of the most characteristic expressions of its most odious and barbaric nature. The obscurantist ideology of this criminal organization is well known. There is no need to belabor the point. The unimaginable barbaric acts already carried out by this group are also well known. Bereaved families, broken destinies, traumatized and disorganized communities, tens of thousands of refugees and displaced persons, Christian churches and Muslim mosques burned down, spectacular and very deadly suicide bombings, local economies disorganized, states challenged in their ability to ensure the safety of people and property. In short, as you know, Boko Haram has long ceased to be a local, national, sub-regional or African issue. This is undoubtedly, today, without forcing the list, a threat to global security, which must be approached as a global security issue. Therefore, once that which was before now presented and seen as a local phenomenon, or at most circumscribed within a specific geographical area, was found for what it is, namely the expression of a dynamic and violent destabilization of states at the global scale. It is imperative to address it now through this prism. In fact, if the Islamic State is vigorously fought in Iraq and Syria, and this eradication process is looming within a hopeful short term in Libya, it is clear that the international community involved can only be determined in regard to Boko Haram phenomenon. In this regard, the government of the Republic of Cameroon, as well as the governments of states involved in the multinational joint task force of the Lectured Basin Commission, Cameroon, Chad, Nigeria, and Benin, expresses its profound gratitude to the international community, the African community, the United Nations, and other friendly states for their multifaceted support to contain and hopefully, in the short term, eradicate the nebula that is Boko Haram. While we welcome this support shown by some states or organizations, it is clear that the fight against Boko Haram is a unique occasion from which we can sketch some prospects of a more effective approach to tackle global security issues. The fight against Boko Haram shows us that there is need to refine our mechanism for detecting global threats, sharing strategic and security information for a collective and more rapid response, and for preventing, as much as possible, security risks concerning nations. In this respect, Cameroon hopes to states have effective means of threat detection, of gathering information, and that they always cooperate fully with the less fortunate to avoid the worst. Because when the worst happens, even if we win the war, you will have lost time, lives, property, and development opportunities. Cameroon expects from the international community a more serious support to the multinational joint task force and in general to the security and safety initiatives like the International Coordination Committee dedicated to securing the coastline in the Gulf of Guinea. The global security problem invites us to boldly tackle the issue of the effectiveness of legal and institutional mechanisms and financial regulation that the international community has set up to fight against trans-border organized crime networks and terrorist enterprises. Making a critical analysis of this mechanism already means we are equipping ourselves with the means of remedying the shortcomings of the system. Global security, ladies and gentlemen, requires us to thoroughly assess the economy and even the anthropology of the violent extremism of Boko Haram beyond the inevitable military response. If security must be global, all members of the family of nations must be involved where it is threatened, under the auspices of legitimate international bodies. Cameroon, which appreciates the true value of the support it has received in the fight against Boko Haram, understands the meaning of international cooperation as far as security is concerned. Truly, as the President of the Republic of Cameroon, His Excellency Paul Biya, said it won't be to recall, global security and world peace are closely linked to and outstanding requirement of solidarity. For Cameroon, only active solidarity, permanent, fair, and open between states and nations, small and large, powerful and less powerful, can pave the way to a real and sustainable global security in the interest of all. Finally, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, let me again express the high appreciation of my country to the government of Russia for the kind invitation you gave us to express ourselves here in the name of Cameroon. Thank you very much, Chair. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize if I took more than 10 minutes. Thank you.